Folks, the David investigation is still ongoing and it has finally made its way to CNN. CNN have just dropped a huge investigative piece on the David situation, and there are a few new videos and clips and pieces of evidence that have just come out that are catching a lot of people's eyes on social media. So CNN have basically been doing a bunch of reporting. They've been digging into this. They've just started posting videos and like a full-blown investigation into the situation. So let me just give you a little taster of what's going on with CNN and what they've drug up on David.
David is now named as a target in the murder of a 14-year-old girl. Court documents say that David Burke, as he's legally known, may be involved in having committed the following criminal offenses, and that includes one count of murder. There's been a lot of mystery in the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez for months. There's a grand jury investigation, and the LAPD has been extremely quiet, not just to us, but virtually everyone about this case. Celeste's body was found last September in a black Tesla in a Hollywood tow yard. The car was registered to David. We're now learning from these court documents some of these grisly details. LAPD was first called to open up the car because of a strong odor. Inside the trunk, 2 cadaver bags, one with the girl's decomposed head and torso, and the other contained the rest of her dismembered body parts. David has been a viral music sensation with hundreds of millions of views. He nor anyone else we're aware of has been arrested for her death. I called David's attorney twice, but she wouldn't speak to me, saying that she couldn't because of the ongoing grand jury investigation. And we and the rest of the public are still waiting on the results of that grand jury investigation. Singer David.
Yeah, it's not looking good for David. So CNN basically dropped a massive investigative video. Now, I can't play the whole thing or too much of it because this is like, you know, it's damn near like a mini movie. It's 12 minutes long, but it's like a full breakdown, basically. They're calling it Rising Star Missing Girl. This is low-key almost looking like a Netflix short film or something, okay? So it's a Hollywood mystery. A 14-year-old girl named Celeste was found dismembered in a Tesla owned by rising music artist David, and CNN investigates the months-long connection between the two. It is pretty damning, right? CNN doing a full investigation. Now, look, I can't play you anything from this because of the copyright and stuff, but private investigator Steve Fisher, who is, you know, great source of updates for this channel, and he is the private investigator that basically is working on behalf of the person that owns the property that David was living in when the body was found nearby in the Tesla. So he talked on this CNN situation, and I believe he was actually interviewed for it. He said investigative correspondent Kaya Kyung La and CNN produced a 12-minute investigative story on the David case. A shorter version will air on TV today. The full-length story can be viewed here if you have cable subscription. You have to subscribe and log in. But he's posted a couple clips from the story. Okay, and now more than ever, it's critical we don't let Celeste's story and the pursuit of justice fade. So hopefully we can watch at least these couple clips from his ex to see what's going on.
Months, most likely months, was stuffed in that Tesla and just left there. I'm a private investigator that exclusively does missing persons cases.
Steve Fisher was hired to unearth evidence in the case, which starts here, a search warrant on the Tesla. The registered owner, David Anthony Burke.
So they're painting Steve as really, you know, a crusader for justice and somebody with all the secret inside info about the case. And low-key he is. He's had a lot of updates that have been exclusive.
She is missing.
Absolutely. She's listed as a missing person, and when she's having contact with the family, which the first thing that you're supposed to do is call the detective or call 911 and say, listen, she's here.
We knocked on door after door in Lake Elsinore trying to get an explanation from her family and friends. No one, including Celeste's family, talked to us on camera.
Nobody would talk to them in Lake Elsinore. They swept the whole community trying to look for people to talk, and they just wouldn't do it. Now, obviously, I can't play too much of the video subscription. You know, it's cable. It's exclusive content, right? We don't want to get in trouble for that. But they did release a companion investigative article that completely broke down the whole case and all the details. And, you know, we can sweep through this. A lot of this you're probably already going to know, but I feel like it'd be good to break this down and just let you guys know what these, you know, journalistic companies. CNN is like it's a real heritage organization when it comes to journalism, and just to see like how they're framing the story and what they think of the evidence. I wonder if they're as deep into the Reddit rabbit holes as we are. They're tapped in with Steve Fisher, but I'd be curious to know. So we're going to read through this and you know, get some reaction from this on Reddit too. And then we're going to look at some of the new clips that have surfaced in the midst of this investigation. So this is a CNN investigation. Missing teenager repeatedly appeared in David's orbit before her body was found. And I think a lot of people are very intrigued and interested in just how many people around David knew about what was going on and him being in the orbit and, you know, essentially what did everyone know about this minor that was on the scene? Like, how long was she? What was going on with her? Why was she there? Like, who knew? It says in the summer of 2024, a budding musical sensation known to his legion of mostly young fans as David posted on social media he was experiencing a case of writer's block. I'm in a song crisis right now, the entertainer, then 19, lamented on Discord. And it's interesting. They're clearly tapped in with the Discord. They're clearly not gone on what's going on where a lot of this activity was going on. It says within minutes, one of his followers on the popular platform offered a oddly specific suggestion. This is good journalism, the way this is written. It says, drop the one with the missing girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the anonymous user wrote, referring to a 13-year-old runaway whose face was plastered on the missing person posters at the time. The message went unaddressed by the singer, whose full name is David. It makes you wonder, what did he think of people posting that? What was going through his head? Did he think the game is up? Did he think people know about what's going on? Or did he think that it was just a bit of a joke? Was it a thrill to him? It says, but the cryptic, seemingly taunting post has since emerged as an intriguing nugget in connection with a grand jury investigation in which prosecutors have deemed Burke a target. It says that's because about a year after the post mentioning Rivas, her dismembered and decomposing body was found in the trunk of Burke's Tesla, which had been abandoned not far from the rented multi-million-dollar home where he was living in the glitzy Hollywood Hills overlooking Los Angeles. The car was eventually found transferred to a tow yard where an employee called the police after noticing a foul smell coming from the vehicle. Following the grisly discovery in September, Burke cancelled his world tour upon which he had just embarked, and he's made no public comment in the months since. Authorities investigating her death have been tight-lipped. A judge ordered that the results of her autopsy remain confidential at the request of LAPD's Elite Robbery Homicide Division, which is investigating the young girl's death. So they know a lot of the details, and they're laying it out in chronological order here in a way that really helps you follow and realize how insane this story and this investigation is. It said, interest in the case, meanwhile, has exploded on the internet. The singer was the #1 search person on Google worldwide for 2025, based on queries following the discovery of Rivas' body. An army of amateur online sleuths have been passing David's lyrics, interviews, and social media posts for clues, and it's resulted in headlines and publications all over America. Okay, that's us. The army of amateur online sleuths passing David's lyrics. That's us. That's your boy. That's the Redditors, all right? That's me and you. So we're doing our part, all right? He's done more than a dozen interviews. They found Rivas repeatedly appeared in Burke's orbit before and after she was reported missing around February of 2024. And this is a picture of the kind of memorial that was left to her, which is just really sad to see and drives home the human cost of this situation. So she was just 13 years old when she appeared alongside Burke in a live stream video shot in the wee hours of the morning from inside a West Hollywood home linked to the entertainer. He's definitely regretting that live stream. For sure. That's one of the most damning things in this, and it really makes the connection. It says she was photographed backstage at one of his concerts a few months later and appeared in images on the memory card of a camera left behind at the singer's home in the Hollywood Hills after news of her death became public. CNN also used geolocation to verify Burke's unexplained presence for a few blocks from Rivas' family homes for more than an hour's drive where he lived in Hollywood around the time. Now, that's interesting. Is that them just saying that they've also seen the picture going around on Reddit of him, you know, allegedly paying off some young'uns in the area to not talk about this? I feel like they're overcooking that, saying they use geolocation. It's kind of, they probably looked at the same Reddit post as us, but maybe not. Burke's attorney, Blair Burke, declined to comment on any relationship her client had with the kid, with the young'un. Definitely suspect. It says before one of his music videos went viral and made him an online phenomenon, he was a homeschooled teenager living in a devoutly religious household outside of Houston, a gaming enthusiast, and he loved music. He blended those passions and made music to accompany videos that he posted of himself gaming, and his debut single, Romantic Homicide, went viral on TikTok. His career took off. He moved to LA. He got a lavish house rented by his management company for $20K a month, and he started living the fast-paced life of a young celebrity, and somehow this young'un, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, ended up in his orbit. Lake Elsinore is her hometown, 90 minutes from LA, but to the working class city feels like a world away. She was reported missing from her neighborhood in 2024. Posters of her face were plastered around town and shared on social media. And they even talked about Eli Nadaf, the corner store owner, where he said that she would come in and buy snacks, which we've heard that quite a lot. She was apparently a respectful kid amongst the rowdy ones that went to the store, always nice. But apparently whispers of her in his orbit were going around before she was reported missing. So in January of 2024, she was side by side with Burke in a live stream on social media platform Twitch. They joke and banter until about 3 a.m. before he proclaims delete everything. Now that's a famous clip. I would love to see the rest of this live. We've only seen that one clip from the end of the live, but at the end of the day, we're basically, you know, I wonder, somebody must have that full live. Maybe they're going to subpoena Twitch. Maybe somebody has it backed up, but I want to see that full live because I feel like that is going to be incredibly damning. Maybe she just sat down at the end of the live and that's all we got, but that delete everything post has not been deleted, and I do hope that they didn't truly delete everything. They talk about the person concerned about her well-being sending an email to his record company's domain. Said there's been talk that David had something to do with her disappearance. Do the right thing and take her home. So the CNN investigation is deeming that to be true, right? CNN confirmed the authenticity of the email with the person who sent it, but that person didn't want to be identified. So that's been going around, and a lot of people have been wondering, is that true? CNN are confirming that it's true, and that's the first time we've seen that confirmation being true. Combine that with the fact that Asia Collins has recently confirmed that her being sent the missing poster was also true. This paints a very damning picture of the people around David knowing about Celeste long before she was discovered in the trunk. And these two things together, CNN's article, they're confirming it. It's painting a very, very grim picture for David. She returned home within days of the email being sent, and that's been confirmed too. All right, David was photographed getting out of the Tesla a few blocks from her home. CNN geolocated the pictures. We know that that is where he was. He was in Lake Elsinore. A few months later, after having been reported missing again, Rivas was photographed backstage during a sold-out show at the Fonda Theatre. We know all about that on this channel. Then in August was the Discord message where people were asking David if he was going to drop the song about the missing girl. And then another piece of the puzzle was found in his home, basically after the body was identified. And this is Steve Fisher's pictures, which it sounds like he got the pictures and the LAPD didn't. The LAPD left them behind. They didn't take the memory card. I don't know, but Steve's got them, and we don't even know if the LAPD have got them. Obviously, he's posted them publicly, so now they have them. But like, it does make you wonder, did the LAPD really search properly, or was it concealed, or what's going on? Is Steve even helping the LAPD at this point? So Steve's been hired by the owner of the property to look into things. He basically recovered a digital camera inside the house with these photos of David and Celeste on them. Very damning and incriminating. He posted pictures from the camera's memory to his ex account. And that is just another nail in David's proverbial coffin, okay? Basically, her brother told NBC LA the family was aware she knew David and she was on her way to see a movie with the singer when she disappeared for the first time on Valentine's Day, but the family has stopped speaking publicly and they didn't respond to requests from CNN. And a lot of people have been speculating the family not wanting to talk is super suspicious. Usually they're outside, they're fighting, they're rallying for justice, they're marching, all that kind of stuff. They've gone completely quiet, radio silence on this one, and that is suspect as hell. Okay, some of the intrigue surrounding Burke and his ties to Rivas comes from the singer himself. He comes across in interviews as soft-spoken with a gentle demeanor, but he refers to his dark alter ego Itami, inspired by the Japanese word for pain. He said that was an evil version of him. He would commit crimes that he would solve as the detective. I'll be solving murders that I'm committing myself. Sus as hell. Not a good look. Said the song that went viral in 2022 and essentially launched his stardom was called Romantic Homicide. Among the lyrics was the line, "In the back of my mind, I killed you and I didn't even regret it." Now, that song was released before she died, but it just really paints a very dark image of how he was thinking. And of course, there was the lookalike woman in that video and numerous other videos. It mentions a later music video, One More Dance, where David's alter ego would drag his own body into the trunk of a car. And again, a body got put in the car. It is actually incredibly sus, okay? It's crazy. They connect the aesthetic of his alter ego in the video to the real life circumstances. She was found in the trunk. I'm surprised they didn't put a screenshot of that music video where a body is being put in the trunk because it is so damning. So authorities have been quiet. They're saying recent developments signal some movement. Okay, they're basically talking about Neo being arrested in Montana and being forced to go to the grand jury. It says Lieutenant Adam Shanks with the Helena Police Department says detectives from LA had a material witness warrant for Neo. They came and scooped him up. He was transported to LA, booked into jail, released on a $60,000 bond, and then it would come out in court documents that his parents were trying not to testify in front of the grand jury. They revealed gruesome new details about the way that the body was found. It had been dismembered and separated into 2 bags. And that was the first time that we'd heard that confirmed. His parents screwed up royally by accidentally filing paperwork that would lead that to come out. And this would clarify the prosecutors were describing Burke, David, as a target of the investigation, and the state of California were bringing allegedly a case against him, in my opinion. Allegedly, in my opinion. So they didn't say what role that David might have been the case. The target may have been involved. Come on, all right? Allegedly, in a lot of people's opinion, we just can't believe why there hasn't been more done. So this article and the details from it are now going viral in the various David subreddits. Okay, they're reposting it a bunch of places. It says, every time I read about this, all I can think is poor little girl. She didn't deserve such an ending. I hope she gets justice. All right, thank you for getting around the paywall and posting this. After considering all this info with everything else, it seems like he may have murdered her because he knew his secret was out. Of course, this was obvious from the beginning, but now I see the evidence chronologically. The comment about the missing girl named her by full name. Someone told him to do the right thing, and then she immediately showed back up at home. He knew his time was running out, and rather than take responsibility, he got rid of her. Sadly, this is the same pathology of many people who get rid of their pregnant partners in particular. They don't want the shame of leaving their pregnant partner, so they just get rid of them. It doesn't make any sense because these murderers are psychopathic. People saying, what about the video? We can't look at the video right now. People saying it's a horribly written article. I thought it was quite a well-written article. I think the way that it is framed and kind of put in a chronological order is actually really helpful, and it really just puts a lot of things into perspective, and they've confirmed things that we didn't know were confirmed. Okay, so a lot of people have been sharing this. People saying, finally, the media is doing deep dives into this. So you can't have it both ways. People saying, oh, Ross, you're milking it. And then next thing you know, it's, why aren't the media talking about this? I've really been pushing this. My cat's wilding out. I've really been pushing this and trying to keep Celeste's name alive and keeping pressure on this story because I think it's really important. They can't believe the media is just digging into this now. A 14-year-old found dismembered in his car. Okay, wilding out. And nothing is happening. It should be getting media attention like Gabby Petito. Let's hope they all catch on. I hope Netflix are taking notes. Netflix will be doing their thing at some point. So it seems like CNN is trying to downplay their relationship just by the description. I hope they don't try and spin the narrative. So CNN was informed the next shoe is about to drop, in my opinion. It could be an indication something's about to happen, right? Could be an indication. So we've already seen the article. All right, we get the gist. We get the gist. All right. So in addition to that, there's been a few new clips of David floating around. So we talked about his friend Chase Keith that people are saying is now being hauled in front of the grand jury potentially, and he had a very disturbing short film where he appeared to be committing a romantic homicide and putting a woman in a bag. Now there's a new clip of David and his friends, which includes Chase Keith, Neo, and Asia in an escape room. David finds a sack and Neo says there's a dead body in there. This is May 2025. This is likely, in my opinion, allegedly, after Celeste has already lost her life. So look at this.
1965 August, Monday, 9. Flip the 9 upside down. 6 upside down, that's a 9 now, it's rape. Toronto, what's the area code for 6, 7? Because 7, 8, no. Because 7, 8, 9. Wait. Oh. TS, this PMO. This gotta mean something. That's green. Wait, 3, 1.
Guys, you guys think the bag be landing?
Yes.
That's a dead body in there.
No.
H-I-J-K-L.
We heard that. We heard that.
Guys, you guys think the bag be landing?
Yes.
That's a dead body in there.
No.
H-I-J-K-L.
Okay.
L-M-N-O-Q-R-R.
Seashells by the seashore.
What, 420?
Yeah, that's not a good look. People are hating on these guys. This whole friendship circle is their names are pretty much mud in the community. It says adults acting like 10-year-olds and not normal ones at that, just groups of freaks that found each other and who love David for the same reason. Do you notice how Neo thinks he's a funny person and this dude does too? But they aren't in the least. So they're so spoiled and have nothing but their own narcissism. It's their only talent and they're in love with their own looks and adore themselves. Thinking themselves as artistic and to be followed, it's unbelievable. And saying Asia's the main and only one from their clique actually saying anything, and she's the main one claiming how clean her hands are and how her and David weren't that close, but she's always around him and Neo in that footage that's pulled up, like literally always. Everyone thinks these guys are the epitome of annoying TikTok weirdos that do horrible stuff. It says there's another girl in the woman with David, Chase Keith, Asia Collins, and Neo Langston. Maybe she's the owner of the TikTok account the videos are posted on. It says Emmy. It says a false flag tried to come in and say they were David and had a recorded message. That can't be true. This has got to be trolling, but I'm going to read it anyway, but it's going to be trolling. It says, the real truth is I never killed the girl. I was never there. Last time we talked was like months ago before this happened. I think it was Josh who did it, but also not at the same time. I can't really sing or say anything because my lawyers are telling me not to say anything. And you know how it is. Silence, yeah. Tongue cluck or clap. This shit sucks. I can't believe that David would be so dumb to comment anything like that. But hey, it's interesting, okay? It's interesting. They're saying it's got 666 likes. It is the mark of the beast. What's up with them and blood and dead bodies? Such corny weirdos. David really thought he was never going to get caught. Okay. Chase Keith got the Hello Kitty chair in his room. I mean, it's kind of cute. But yeah, in this context, it's kind of weird. Everyone's wishing the worst for them. They're saying Asia is the Ghislaine Maxwell type, helping men commit crimes against the vulnerable because she's a clout-chasing goblin who's desperate for attention, literal sociopath behavior. She knows she's pathetic and these other losers were her only chance getting anywhere in LA following a PDF around. She'll never be anything on her own. It's pretty harsh, okay? And unfortunately, okay, some Redditors have uncovered what appears to be a much more comprehensive Twitch clip of that stream with David and Celeste. I don't think there's too much more to it, but apparently this is the full clip of them together on stream. Okay, I was saying, is this going to surface? Little did I know that somebody had actually dug this up. Okay, and people are saying this is a wrap for him. People in the chat knew about her and his relationship and that she was way younger than her. Let's see. It says David was shaking in his boots. Look at his facial expressions and nervousness throughout this. Just look at his stares towards Celeste. It shows he was controlling her like crazy. But sadly for him, his media training didn't work out and she slipped. Let's see.
Personally don't.
Where's your media
I personally don't.
Yo, I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
So people are in the comments saying David Epstein flight list.
It's controversial of raping kids.
really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, mwah.
David and Celeste Island trip. People are commenting and they knew about this and they would know. Bruh, I'd never seen that comment. It says David and Celeste Island trip. What's L3 Ami saying?
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Cancel.
Oh my! Delete everything.
statement from David's girl.
Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes. Everything.
People are saying you are done. She's cooked. Wow. There's more of it. Somebody's got it. Somebody actually has the rest of it. That was a whole hour. Look at this. It was a whole hour of stream. Somebody has access to this. What the hell?
Take that one off.
I took it off because it didn't go with the silver.
Season it. It's already seasoned, but it's Alfredo.
Seasoning.
Chat. Pray for his career, chat. Are we done? Are we?
We need to delete this.
Are we?
It's saying, are we cancel? Pray for his career. She's saying we need to delete this. This is crazy. I've never seen this part.
Maz, can we delete all VODs and then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
So he knows he's fucked up. He knows he shouldn't be doing this. He's whiling. He's actually whiling out. This is crazy. He's saying, yo, can we actually delete this? Delete the VOD and then delete the whole stream. Make sure everything's gone. Bro, it's too late. Somebody got it.
Can we delete? Can we delete anything? You done for, bro? Y'all are not done? Now you going to Epstein? Yo!
So he's reacting to all these Epstein comments. They're saying, no, you got on the Epstein list. And he's like, yo, bro, like, this is crazy. I've never seen this, bro. He's cooked.
You done for, bro? Y'all are not done? Now you going to Epstein? Yo, wait.
Oh, look at answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which
that.
one? What's good, David? Big fan, mixed by me. Yo, thank you, Mitch.
People saying, caught you in 4K. Don't get cancelled, dog.
Mitochondria? Appreciate you.
I got a song with him if you even.
She's saying, I got a song with him. That sounds like invisible string theory confirmed. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. It says, this event is so important to the timeline. So many people in the chat failed her. They must have been very young and stupid and thought it was okay. They were too fixated on his music and didn't connect the dots of his illegal actions. He knew it was wrong, and after everything comes out, he will still have idiots that follow and adore this piece of dirt. It's crazy. But he's saying the unfortunate thing in his favor is that circumstantial evidence of statutory R-word is neither enough to convict him of that crime, absent a witness, nor is it sufficient to prove him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of murder, hence the lack of an arrest. It says the LAPD failed this girl when they did not arrest him the first time they found her in LA and brought her home. They should have arrested David having her with him. It's actually crazy. It's crazy. It says, how do you have the full video without the cuts and edits? They're saying this is all we got for now. Someone's saying, I'll send it to you. No way have they got the whole thing. Absolutely no way. We need to delete this. Girl didn't know this would be partial evidence in a murder case. It breaks my heart. Just seeing him makes me feel sick. It is actually gross. This is so disturbing. And on top of that, anyone who claimed they thought she was 19 is flat out lying. It's obvious she is very young. Interesting, he's worried about being cancelled. He asked Celeste, are we done? Are we cancelled? This is an important admission. It shows motive for her death. If she was met with foul play the following year, David was concerned about his career. He knew the relationship was illegal. Simple, but true. And had the threat of exposure hanging over his head the entire relationship. As if he would listen to her opinions, most likely the case he brainwashed her and gave her commands. Look, dear, we're going live now. You behave now. Act like an adult and I'll do the same. Nope, she said, and messed up his plans. How stupid of him going live on a stream for the third time, knowing effed up the first time and still played with fire and got burnt. Saying murder is also illegal. There would be the threat of exposure of murder hanging over his head. I don't buy that as a motive. They're saying, imagine if he really gets arrested on his birthday, March the 28th. You're going to have to set the date because I swear the prosecutors like arresting people on like important dates. It's crazy. They're saying, no way can someone look at that little girl and think she's anywhere close to being an adult. Listen to the way she giggles. I'm sad to the point of tears thinking about it. Up until this point, I was thinking it could have been an accidental OD. Cap. Someone freaked out, one bad choice after another, but I don't know what to say other than show the people that you care about, hug them, talk to them, whatever it takes. I have a 16-year-old daughter, and the thought of her running away from home and something like this happening to her by people she trusts just breaks my heart. His facial expression when the mask is off is very scary. It is terrifying. It says, as noted before about this stream, peep the appearance and of comments by David's Discord moderator, Safia. Oh no, and end stream. There is a great deal of discussion elsewhere about Safia's knowledge of Celeste and her age, as well as Safia's role in trying to hide incriminating Discord David's closet server content. It says, man, you're absolutely right. Their mods knew about this and you can't convince people otherwise. She also mentions Neo dipping out when it got heated. They all knew. Said Asian dipped out. That's crazy. Says his mods are really twisted like David. Watch Zavgirl go through the interactions of these people. Zerk Sophia, nasty is not the word. It's worse. It's worse than nasty. It's so weird that almost no one from his audience has said anything about Celeste. Only this clip has been leaked, but I can imagine there has to be more videos of them together. I would like to see more videos of her, and she seems so sweet and a cool girl. Look how he grabbed her shoulder, gripping his fingers into it. It probably hurt. And her facial expressions. He then maneuvered his face to hers and was just doing creepy facial movements. Then he turns back to the stream. I think he caught himself before he did something to her on live stream. Where was that? Let me see that. Let's see that. This is unbelievable. I can't believe this. I actually can't believe this. Where did he grip hold of her? Let me pull it up. So I think this is the part. It's saying like the way he grips.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of raping
He's
kids.
squeezing her. Does he grab her again?
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a
bye.
great season, but it's all
Season.
fake.
I can't really see what they're doing. He's like got his head down.
Chat.
Bro, it's so creepy. This is actually awful. I can't believe it. And there's just hundreds, like there's over 100 comments on this. I can't believe that this actually come out. It says, notice her body language. She turns directly to him when she says that thing about kids. And from her lips, it was definitely intentional. She was smirking. I noticed that. She doesn't get it wrong. What was she seeing around David that she didn't realize this was wrong? It's not about their relationship. As she said, R word, not in love with. I think trafficking and filming were done. Her laughing is not taking it seriously as a crime, which is unusual. Most people of that age know that was wrong. She was groomed and media trained. It could be a form of training he subjected her to in case of a problem of him being caught together with her. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. It says agitators have been flooding the sub like Celeste was never part of David's life, but the man was streaming with her. Look, I can't believe that footage actually exists. That's actually floored me, because even when I started this video, I didn't realize that clip was in my list of links. I hadn't looked at this link yet. I am super disturbed. I feel like in my opinion, allegedly, I feel like his time is nearly up. Okay, maybe they'll arrest him on his birthday. We're just seeing too much. The fact that that's there, I wouldn't be surprised if they subpoenaed Twitch and got the full stream. No doubt they can do that. No doubt delete everything. Yeah, that's all well and good until the feds actually want an archive, and then Twitch will probably magically pull that from their servers. It must still exist, and we've just got more of it. So this is absolutely insane. I'll keep you guys updated if anything else happens. I do think we're going to see an arrest definitely this year. I know that's not really very, very specific, but I could see it in March. I thought February was going to happen. We were hearing rumors of February. I thought maybe Valentine's Day didn't work out, right? Valentine's Day, definitely an L, but maybe March. But yeah, I've seen way too much. In my opinion, the guy's cooked. But that's just my opinion. All right, allegedly. It's all alleged. It's all alleged. But anyway, let me know what you thought of that update. I've done a couple of videos on Iran. I'm going to take a little break now. I'm going to record something from one of my other channels this evening. I'll be back on tomorrow with some back-to-back content. Thank you so much for supporting and watching. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. But for now, I'm out, folks. Peace.